Hello friends, it is currently after school right now on a Monday. If I have any kind of prep to do during the week, I try to do it Monday, Wednesday, or Friday after school, and I don't like to stay past 6. So it's looking like today is going to be one of those Mondays. I have a ton of stuff to copy. I made my little list. Right now I was working on submitting an assignment. I have mentioned that kindergarten teachers in Texas have to take a mandatory course called HB3 Reading Academy, or the Science of Teaching Reading. And it's like 12 modules long, and it just really walks us through all the components to teach and have successful readers. I was running behind on those modules, but I finally caught up over winter break. I caught up on those. I didn't do much of anything else. Last week was honestly difficult to get back in the groove of waking up that early. I was definitely struggling. And like each day I was more and more tired as the week progressed, but we made it. So now this is our second week back in the classroom. We are doing Module 6 on HB3 Reading Academy. It focuses on phonological awareness, so we had to submit a video where we are pretending to model how to substitute final or medial sounds. Anyway, I got that done and it's due Wednesday, so I'm ahead of the game for once. But anyway, so right now my focus is going to be getting my guided reading ready. I need to organize these, and what I mean by organize, these are leveled readers provided to us by the school district, and I think it's a part of HMH, which is the curriculum that our district adopted. So it's really great that we have all these books for guided reading. But what I've noticed is that we don't have to teach them in a certain order, but I'm going to rearrange them because there's some, for example, the first book here is called The Fishing Trip, and let's see how many words this has. So this book has 10 words versus this book is called In the Woods, 7, 8. So this one has 8 words. I'm going to rearrange them according to the amount of words in a sentence and also just what the actual sight words are. But yeah, I need to arrange that. That's going to be my focus. I'll get that done first, and then I have this pile of copies to do. I need to give them more math work. We are working on composing and decomposing numbers up to 10. We are also working on digraphs. The MoFat Girls is one of my favorite sellers, and she had like a $1 sale yesterday, and it was this big file of digraphs. So these are like 20 little worksheets for digraphs, but I went ahead and printed them smaller to save paper, and then the kids can cut these in half and paste them in their notebook. But I need to make copies of this. I also have some students still working on beginning sound. This was also a $1 fine, and it's from Mrs. B's Beehive, and it's just a beginning sound picture sort, but I always like to review 2 sounds at a time. So this is just extra practice. And then for my kids that are still working on that letter recognition, that beginning sound, I found these alphabet books, so that'll be really good for them just so they can get the hang of reading from left to right, and it's very simple, repetitive. Like for all of these, it says I, C, A, blank. But it's really good vocabulary. I'm just gonna focus on this for this afternoon. So let me just get started. Alright, so I just got back from making most of my copies. We only have 3 copiers. The first one didn't have any toner and any ink. The second one was being used by one of my teammates. She has a ton of copy and she still needs to get done. And then I had the other copier that just ran out of toner. My copies were going so wonderfully, but I guess I'll just try again tomorrow. But I was able to make copies of the digraph packets. I got to like the middle of letter L. So I got some of those little easy sight word emergent readers for my kids. the digraphs and the beginning sounds. So I'll try again at some point. It's about 4:40. I'm honestly just about to go home and probably edit this footage, so I'll check in with y'all tomorrow. Hey friends, it's Wednesday. I did not check in yesterday because it was not very exciting, but I did forget to mention that I received a new student on Friday, and then today I actually received another new student. I'm usually pretty good about making extra copies and just having extra supplies for new students. So I had that ready to go, and both of these students were in pre-K last year. I don't know why they're starting off so late in the year this year, but they did go to pre-K last year. So we'll see how fast they can get back in the groove of coming to school. Other than that, yesterday I got to finish my parent-teacher conference sheet that I wanted to edit. So that's actually what I'm going to share with you guys right now. Just walk you through how I do parent-teacher conferences and what my agenda looks like and all of that. All right, so the first thing I'll walk you through is my parent-teacher conference form, which I kept pretty simple, and this is a template that I came up with. But I really just need the student name, parent name, the date, and I list strengths and improvements for the student, and these are definitely more kinder-friendly form. Some of the strengths that I list are, for example, asks for help when needed, attends school every day, remains focused during independent work time, completes classwork, gets along with other students, is a great helper, participates well in class, follows rules from adults. And then I leave an extra little box in case you want to write another specific comment. And for improvements, I have tardiness, has trouble following directions, incomplete classwork, lack of focus, poor problem solving, or poor emotional control. And then I left plenty of space to take notes and then parent signature. I do recommend filling this out beforehand, and just anything that you talk about with the parent, if there are specific concerns or anything to follow up, you just have plenty of space to get all of that down in the notes. And then I came up with a very simple conference schedule. I'm going to try and get my conferences done in the next 2 weeks. So I went ahead and just made a little calendar for the next 2 weeks, and all of my conferences will be after school. So I'm gonna try and have just a couple of slots after school, either at 3:20 once dismissal is over, and then the second slot will be for 3:45. It typically takes me between 20 to 30 minutes to conference with the parent. Just depends on, again, what their concerns are, if they have any questions and just things like that. Just go ahead and write the student name in there. Whenever a parent confirms with me that's the time slot that they want, I'm going to text them a picture, and then it's just going to be first come, first serve. And there is no school on Monday. I have a training after school that day, and we have early dismissal, so we probably have professional development that Friday. So I really just have 7 days to conference with, I now have 17 students. Next, I have a parent conference agenda. So the first thing that I review with parents is actually going over our daily schedule. So I'll have a copy of our daily schedule, and I'll walk them through what our day looks like and just what we cover in each component. And I do that because I just want parents to really understand all the work that we do in the day. And when I'm walking through the list, I do talk about some important literacy skills like letter recognition, letter sounds, digraphs and blends, rhyming words, word families, CVC words, sight words, guided reading, phonetic writing, and story elements. These are the skills that we really focus on for kinder, and I explain to parent, what each skill is like. And then for math, we have writing and identifying numbers 1 through 20, adding and subtracting up to 10, graphing, rote counting to 100 by ones and by tens, identifying 2D and 3D shapes, naming coins. And then specifically for my school and my district, the 3 big kinder goals are for the students to be able to write 1 sentence independently, to reach reading level D, and to be able to add and subtract up to 10. So that's my little agenda that I came up with. and it complements this little chart really nicely. This is from Keeping My Kiddos Busy. This is like spot on what the list of kinder goals are. I can identify and write my first and last name, identify all 26 uppercase letters, 26 lowercase letters, letter sounds, first, middle, and last sounds, counting syllables, recognizing and producing rhymes, reading 30 sight words, which for us it's actually 25, but that's okay. I can read CVC words, write a sentence, leaving a space, and ending punctuation, identifying short and long vowel sounds, identifying 2D shapes, counting to 100 by ones and tens, identifying 3D shapes, telling which group has more or less, counting objects 1 through 20, solving addition problems within 10, fluently subtract within 5, and then being able to write numbers 0 through 20. So I think this is like spot on with kinder goals, and I have these printed in black and white individually, and I just went ahead and colored if the student has mastered that skill, and this will be one of the handout that the parent will take home. I also like to show parents work samples from their child, so I'll usually have their notebook ready and their individual data folder, kind of just talk about what their writing is like, how they're doing with these skills. So again, I just like to make sure that parents are aware of what their child is learning in the classroom, how they can help. If this was like a normal year, I would also talk about volunteering opportunities, and I let them know that at some point during the school year, we will have a field trip. But that's really it for my parent-teacher conferences. So I need to start setting those up tomorrow. Like I said, I'm going to take a picture of that little calendar schedule, and it will be first come, first serve on the time slots. I think that's also just really all I want to share for this week. It's not going to be very exciting. I do need to update all of my students' independent work centers, so I'm still kind of working on that. Then Monday is MLK Day, a holiday. So I will check back in with you guys next week and just share what new centers I have. I will post a link to this really awesome resource if you're interested. But that's all I have for you. Stay safe, and I'll see you guys next week.